Imagine you want precise tracking for your equipment or a product in your assembly line, or you just want to show information on a piece of history in a museum. We have just the right thing for you. Let me introduce you to multi-set object tracking. Today, in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how to scan any 3D object and turn that into a fully tracked object anchor in your scene. Let's get started. Okay, so before that, let me explain how does object tracking work. Once your scan model is uploaded, it's processed through advanced deep learning systems to analyze geometry, textures, and surface details and build a unique feature points database. The object tracking is designed for large, stable real-world objects like equipment, machinery, and infrastructure, and not for handheld items or moving toys. The feature database then becomes the visual anchor that the system uses to recognize, lock onto, and then track the object in real space even under different lighting conditions. So let me show you how to quickly scan this using Polycam or any 3D object using Polycam. So what we are going to do is we are going to open Polycam and select space, because that is what allows us to scan using LiDAR mesh, using a LiDAR sensor. So we can create, let's say, a LiDAR mesh. It will be pretty obvious for you to know how to scan. Just move around, show different angles, and let it process. And should process really quickly. So once it's processed, what we are going to do is we are going to look at the output. Look, it looks really good, and if we want, we can crop it, and then we are going to upload this or send it to ourselves as a GLB. Once that is done, once our models are done, let's now go to docs.multiset.ai, so which is the multiset documentation. Again, the URL is docs.multiset.ai. Here, this is the playground for you, and then this has all the information in case I missed something in the video, but I'll cover most of it. If you want to take a look at it, you can take a look at it. Now, what you want to do is want to go to object tracking, and then just like if you want to give it a read, and then here, what we have is we have Multiset Unity SDK page, which has all the information and steps required. So if you look at here, the first step is Unity 6. So let's scroll down and we will see that there is a get URL for the Unity SDK. So let's just copy that really quickly. And then now I'm going to go to my Unity 6 project here. And what I'm going to do is firstly check if I have Android platform active. If not, just switch to Android. Once that is done, let's go to package manager and open up the plus icon and then paste my get URL here and click install. Let it do its thing. Once the SDK is installed, what we are going to do is go to samples and import sample scenes. Now the sample scene should be installed. Now go to project and then under samples multiset SDK, and let's say a specific version number, you'll find sample scenes project, and under that you will find object tracking. Open up the object tracking scene. Now what we want to do is just take a look at this scene briefly. This has everything set up for you. All the things happen inside object tracking manager. So this is our main scene. We'll come back to this quickly. Now let's just go back to our docs, and if you see here, the next step is to set valid credentials, right? So now let's go ahead and do that. Firstly, what we are going to do is go to the developer portal really quickly. Once you go to the developer portal, what you will see is that in the left hand side there are options. The one that we are interested in is the object tracking. Here I already have like a couple of objects that I have already prepared and then tested, but what I'm also going to show you how to actually upload the Polycam GLB that you just created. So let's just do that. This is the pump that I have. Now what we are going to do is just going to go and hit create object. I'm going to give it a name called pump underscore 2 or something. And then what we are going to do is select GLB, because that's what multiset supports, and then upload the GLB that we just downloaded. So that was pump.glb. This is the GLB that you just scanned, by the way. So now here you will see this is like a 3D viewer where you can actually see a GLB. So it looks pretty good. It's correctly positioned, and we have two options here, which is 360 view and the side view. 360 view is for you if you want your object to be tracked from all angles, and side view is, let's say, if you just want it to be tracked from one face. So upload this, let it process. Now I already have my pump processed and active, so I'm going to use that. But like, this is how you are, let's say, in case anyone was wondering how do you upload the object, this is how we do it. So now if you look at these codes, these object codes that we call, these are pretty important. We'll get back to this in a second, but now let's go and create our credentials. Okay, so let's go and click on credentials. Now I already have a couple of these here, but I'll show you how to create a new one. So hit on create new, and then just give it a random name. I'm going to call it like Unity test, and then I'm just going to create it. Make sure you copy or download this, because this is something that we will use later. So I'm just going to download this really quickly. Once downloaded, actually, yeah, I'm just going to open that up in the notepad. I think notepad is fine. Yep. So let's let it open. So yeah, here you will see this client ID, client secret. So what we are going to do is just copy client ID really quickly here. And now let's go back to our project and go to Multiset SDK manager, and then open up the multiset configuration. Click on that. Here you will see the multiset config, and here you will see, let's say, the client ID. So let's paste that there, and then copy our client secret, and we'll paste that there as well. Now what we are going to do is we are going to hit verify credentials. That should be that. Now let's go to object tracking manager, and actually what we are going to do is first copy our codes here one by one. So let me copy this and go to object tracking manager, and under the object codes array, I'm going to create my entries, and I'm going to paste all of the codes one by one. So the credentials allowed us to connect our project or our application to the backend, right? So now these object codes act almost as of an identifier, and then we'll be able to download these objects to our scene. So now let's go to the object mesh downloader. What you want to do is go to that and then click download mesh, and here you will see like all your 3 mesh files are loaded now. So let me just zoom in, and I'm just going to tidy up the scene a bit. Okay, now that looks good. You'll see the GLVs look great. Polycam really did a good job scanning this actually. Now let's take a look at this. So let's take a look at object space, right? So object space is essentially the root of your scene in AR. So every object that you download will sit here, and if you open up any object, you will see that it obviously has its parent, And then after that, what you will see here is you have this editor only a game object, which is used for representation purposes. So every single digital content that you have, you're going to put this inside, let's say your parent, the object parent. Here you will see that I have, let's say, this guitarist Bose game object, which is like a really cute guy here. And then what you want to do is put every single thing inside your parent. I have this like keys to help me identify what key is what in my piano, and just like the same way I have put like an air tag sign on my pump. So that looks good. So hope you understand. So like make sure every single thing you put inside your let's say inside your scene is properly parented. Now let's go to Object Tracking Manager. I'm going to explain a few more things here. So everything should be a bit straightforward here, but let's take a look at this. So here you already have your object codes, which you input it yourself. Then you have auto tracking, which automatically starts tracking on start, background tracking, which keeps on tracking, and other settings. These are already set up for you, so I don't really change them. And then you have these different types of events that you can use for your purpose. You can connect your UI, connect, let's say, your events, or just, let's say, connect to your entire app lifecycle. We also have this object tracking data handler script, which allows you to get a bit more information about the object tracking response. So let's say whenever you get, let's say, your non-tracking response, you can get object codes, you can get confidence, rotation, etc. So you just have a bit more control that way. And then the object mesh handler is what helps you handle the objects mesh. So we have three different types of options. So you can enable occlusion, you can enable visualization. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to enable occlusion for now. Yes, I'm just going to hit save. And that's essentially most of the stuff and how to set up your object tracking application. It's pretty straightforward actually. So now what we are going to do is we're going to go to edit project settings and try to build this. So the very first thing that we want to take a look at is XR plugin management. If it's not installed, please go ahead and install it. My platform of choice is Android, so that's why I have selected Google AR Core. If you are building for iOS, go ahead and check ARKit. Now let's go to player and let's say just make sure that you have all your basic stuff ready to go. Uncheck auto graphics API, and for graphics API we are using OpenGL 3. So like make sure you have that. You can take out Vulkan. Make sure the minimum API level is 24, and what we are going to do is we are going to set our scripting backend to IL2 CPP, and our target architecture is going to be ARM64, so make sure you check that as well. Now one final thing is that we are going to go ahead and check allow unsafe code, and that's pretty much all the settings that you need. If there's anything else, you can just go check into our documentation. And now I'm just going to create a new APK. Okay, so this is my APK. Look at me scanning, and look how well it tracks, localizes, and just stays there. The application, you can also see, let's say, this tiny bit of mesh visualization that's going on there. That gives you an idea that okay, your thing is perfectly tracked and stuff, and it looks good. Yeah, I'm actually very happy with how this is working and how this is tracking. So that's the whole tutorial for object tracking. Hopefully I answered all the questions, and then it was pretty straightforward. If you still have any questions, please take a look at our documentation or join our Discord, which we have a very vibrant developer community, and let's say we
It's very yeah, there's like lots of good conversation there, and like a lot of people help out, and like our team constantly supports and helps out developers there. And if you have any more questions, please comment below. And for any such updates, or for any more multi-set updates and tutorials, please subscribe to our channel. Thank you.